Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Last week or the week before, I treated myself to a really expensive new fixative, and I'm going to be doing some experimenting with it today, and I thought we'd share it because I thought some of the people I know here on YouTube might find it useful, especially because as luck would have it, the Schooler box for this month had some oil pastels in it. So now this was a very considered purchase. This bottle cost me 20 quid. This is in a local art supply shop. Possibly you can get it cheaper online, I don't know. What appeals to me about it is that it's relatively environmentally friendly. You know, we're not talking aerosol. It's made of nothing but milk-based protein, casein, denatured alcohol and water. It doesn't smell like a lot of fixatives do, so you can happily spray away indoors without choking on it. And it says it's perfect for soft pastel, pan pastel, oil pastel, chalk, conte, colour pencil, graphite, charcoal, ink, markers and mixed media. You can use it on paper, UPO, canvas, ceramic, fabric, glass, leather, wood and stone. So I thought that was really impressive. However, when I came to use it for the first time, you know, as luck would have it, my Schooler box popped through the door and here were these oil pastels. I thought, oh perfect, I've got a fixative. Because the thing about these oil pastels is apparently they won't ever kind of fully kind of set and dry by themselves. You have to use a fixative. You can kind of feel that where I've applied this has had 2 or 3 coats of this fixative. And you can kind of feel that it started to help it to set, but look at the surface. Basically, when you spray it, it goes on in these huge drops. One of my viewers did, because I mentioned about this on one of my previous videos, and she said that she knows other artists have tried it and found the same thing, and they buy a spray bottle you can get from Jackson Art Supplies, which does a finer mist. And it annoys me that having paid 20 quid for this bottle that they couldn't make it in a usable. Clearly it's a common thing, everybody finds the drops too big. What I'll do is I will just show you. So you're supposed to use it upright. You can't get a continual spray for a start, you have to keep pumping, but can you see the size of the droplets that come out? I mean, it does do the job, but it's not that's not the finish I'm after. So I thought, well, it's really annoying having paid all that money for this fixative to now have to splash out extra for a bottle, but if I don't, I'm kind of cutting off my nose to spite my face. So I had a look on Amazon. So I thought if I go to Jackson Art Supplies, I'll probably have to pay postage and packing as well, and I think she'd said it was like something like $7.95. I had a look on Amazon and I found this, which is made for hairdressers. Apparently it produces a continuous fine mist. You can use it at any angle, even upside down. And it's if you pump it, you get like a 2-second spray, but if you keep pumping, it builds up the pressure and you'll get a longer spray. And this cost me $5.99. So I'm hoping this will do the trick. So I'm going to decant this fixative into here. Annoying though that is. I mean, it's frustrating because they actually mention how to unclog if the casein should dry in the nozzle. They tell you how to sort that out. But so why haven't they noticed that it makes too big? I don't know. I find it really frustrating. But obviously, if artists are still using it despite that and bothering to buy a bottle to go with it, then I'm hoping that means it's good stuff. Somebody that I know, I think it might have been Johnny Creations. I think it was him. He mentioned that he'd read somewhere that you have to use a Sennelier fixative with the Sennelier oil pastels. I just saw oil pastels on here and thought that'll be fine. So I don't know, I'm going to have a bit of an experiment, and so I'm going to use the pastels, the Sennelier oil pastels. I've also got some of these are Rembrandt, just soft pastels, and then I've got some pan pastels, and I've got some compressed charcoal and a stick of just normal willow charcoal. I know it says all those other things like ink and markers and things, but I wouldn't normally bother to use a fixative on that. It's really just the things that otherwise kind of wipe off. I'm going to try them on the drawing paper that came in the Schooler box. And I thought, as it mentions UPO paper, I've also got one sheet I think left. This is a previous Schooler box of UPO. I'll try it on that because it seems amazing that you can put pastels on there and fix them and it'll stick. So I'll be delighted if that's the case. So we'll see. And then I thought, well, it mentions several other surfaces. I haven't got them all handy, but I've got this little ceramic bowl. I tested a pins or markers in there. I'll try it on here as well. And this is a wooden, just a tongue depressor kind of stick thing I had in my miniatures drawer. So I will try all of these. I'll do a little patch test with and without the fixative, and we'll see how it works. I might need a bit of drying time and then come back and do another coat, so if that's the case I'll just sort of edit it all together. So the first thing I need to do is, it actually arrived with a little bit of water in it. They must test it before it leaves the factory or something. Good if they did it with this one. Okay, I mean, I can still use this spray bottle, this bottle, for something else, because sometimes I quite like big droplets if I'm using, like, you know, ink sprays or something. Ooh, I don't know if you'll be able to see. It's quite milky looking, actually. I always thought I had lumps in, but that might have just been bubbles, I don't know. Right, okay, let's oh, I hope this is going to work. And I might have to pump this a couple of times to get it going. Oh, hey ho. I don't know if it's going to be much better. I'm going to be really upset if this isn't any better. And I'll end up having to get the really fine bottle from Jackson Arts that Julie mentioned and end up spending twice as much as I needed to. I mean, is it just me, or is it unreasonable to expect a bottle of fixative that you've paid 20 quid for to produce a fine enough mist to actually do the job it's meant for? Okay, just take off that bit that I put on just now. So this is the normal drawing paper. I'm going to use this dark blue one. Okay. Oh yeah, I want 2 bits, don't I? Okay. And then I also want that on the Yupo. I'm so excited if I can use these on Yupo. Bit of a waste doing this just to test, but hey ho. Not sure how much I want to use them on Yupo then, looking at that, but hey, we'll find it. We'll see. Right, so that's the oil pastels. I'm not going to obviously use the pan pastels or the chalk pastels on the ceramic, because they're not meant to work on there and they definitely won't. Oh, but oh, that is pretty satisfying using the oil pastel on there. Now if the fixative will make that set, I'm going to be delighted, because that probably opens up all sorts of possibilities. One of the other things that appealed to me about the fixative is it's one of those that apparently you can layer up, and it's workable. So you could spray a layer, then you could work over the top with more of the same or different, you know, perhaps colour pencils over the top or something. You could just build up layers. So that would be good. So that's the oil pastels down. Right, now let's try one of the dark blue again. Don't think this is going to work on. No, it's not going to work on Yupo. That was a waste using that sheet for that, really, wasn't it? I'll cut out a bit. I'll do something else with it. Okay, so this is the soft pastels on just the drawing paper. Right, so I've blended away a bit, and I've left a bit quite thick in both cases, just because I want to know how well it will work if it's on quite thickly, and then I rub over it. Let's do a bit of this colour for. So this is the pan pastels now. Yes, so let's put a bit of them. So that's the pan pastels, and let's use the same colour. This is the soft pastels. no fixative on this, on the left side, fixative on the right. Okay, let's do it upright because I'm sure it stays upright on the thing. Let's just check I'm following instructions. Hold the bottle at least 18 inches from your vertical artwork. Spray very light layers of SpectraFix. Allow a few minutes to dry between layers. Occasionally spraying your project while you work is better than only spraying at the end. Okay, I'll remember that. SpectraFix dries to an invisible matte finish and can be reworked indefinitely. I would question whether you can see where it's landed. I would question whether that could be described as matte, personally. Okay, so 18 inches. I need to know what that is in centimetres now. Oh, maybe I was a bit too close there. 18 inches? That's blimey. Okay. Bring out the big guns. So that is an 18-inch ruler. So I'm supposed to be spraying it from that distance. I don't think the drops would have gone that far. Seriously. Okay, so this is an 18-inch ruler. Let's see how far away I can get this. This is ridiculous. So if I spray from here, that is about my 18 inches. I question whether it's going to even reach that far. Or whether I can hit the target from this far. Well, that's annoying. I mean, that is a ridiculous distance. Do they mean centimetres? I'm getting annoyed now. Definitely says inches. Well, here we are. Let's do it in French because they won't use inches there, will they? 450 millimetres. Yeah, so 45 centimetres. Yeah. Oh. Okay. That is on the Yupo. It's really hard to see if any actually landed on target. I'm not sure. I'm going to try using the original bottle and try spraying it at my artwork from that distance, because to be fair, I only probably did it from about 12 inches. Because that's kind of the normal range when you're spraying something, isn't it? 12 inches is about 30 centimetres is about... But I mean, this is a lot of... But spraying all the brushes now. Didn't want that. Has that made the drops any smaller? No, they're still kind of very visible drops. But maybe a little bit smaller than doing it quite so close up. So to be fair, splatter guard. Getting it everywhere. It's really annoying me now. I need to cover up the left hand side and just spray the right hand side. So this is now on the drawing paper. I'm going to try with the new it's not going to stay up either. Now I think that has given me a finer mist. This wooden one now. Cover up the left. Feels very wasteful doing it from that distance. Don't know. And then last of all, let's have a go with this. Basically what I'm doing is holding this at arm's length because my arm is about the required 18 inches. So if I hold it at arm's length, oh, this is driving me nuts. One of the great things about this new fixative for me was going to be that I didn't have to go outside and do it. But now, having to do it at this huge distance, it feels like it's going to be so messy I'll have to go outside anyway. At least it probably won't kill the plants. Or birds or anything. what I'm going to do now is stop filming, let this dry, do a couple more layers, and then come back and do the test. Right, I've done at least 3 coats on all of these, and I've waited quite a while, and I'm, to be honest, bored waiting now. It seems to be pretty dry on just the normal drawing paper with all of the other pastels and charcoal, but if you can see there's just still droplets standing on the oil pastel, and again seems to have disappeared and dried on the wood on these pastels, but you can still faintly see, not so much probably because the wood is porous, but you can still see the droplets on the oil pastel. And on the Yupo, where I only used the oil pastel, I mean, I could leave it longer to dry, but it's still going to be in those droplets. It's not going to spread itself out magically, is it? It's still going to be in those droplets. I'm not sure what to expect here. I don't think this is going to work. So I feel like, and I'm definitely getting a finer spray now that I'm using this, and certainly from more of a distance, but it's making a hell of a mess having to do it from like 18 inches. Crikey, it's everywhere, it's sticky, which kind of defeats the object of being able to do it indoors. I feel like when I do it on my chalk pastels and pan pastels and soft pastels, I'll probably just do it at 12 inches, and I think that'll be fine, and I won't get it everywhere, and it won't sort of stand off in droplets. But although it says it's okay for oil pastels, and the only oil pastels I've tried is Sennelier because I haven't got any others, it just seems to, and it's the same one that I gave another coat to this piece I showed originally, and it's a bit finer out of that new spray bottle, but it's still just not, I don't know. Am I doing something stupid? If you know that I'm doing something stupid, please tell me in the comments. I've had a bit of a read up while I was waiting for those coats to dry. I had a bit of a read up, and there are 2, Sennelier themselves make 2 spray fixatives, and one is for oil pastels and one is for other pastels. They do, in the same thing that I was reading, they did also test this SpectraFix one, and they didn't say that it wouldn't work on oil pastels, but they do talk about the droplet the spray function problem, and the main selling point they seem to feel was that it's kind of non-toxic and everything. Yeah, I think I might, if I really get into using these oil pastels, I think I might have to get a different fixative for them, which is really annoying, because I thought, judging by what it says here, I really thought it would do everything. So unless I'm doing something dim, yeah. Anyway, this seems to be more or less dry, except for the droplets that are still standing after all this time on the oil pastel part. I'm sort of ready to test these out now and see how they go. So this is charcoal. I suddenly remembered I hadn't done charcoal, so I did them on the bottom. So I've washed my hands. I mean, I know it doesn't look like it there, but so I'm going to smudge through this with a clean finger and just see how it smudges without fixative. I mean, kind of as you would expect, really. Yeah, quite a lot. Right, okay. So, I mean, basically, yeah, they smudge all over the place. This one's just got the droplets everywhere, so I don't know what's going to happen here. It actually smudges more, if anything, because the fixative's making it kind of wet, and it's... So yeah, I wasn't expecting that to work, and it hasn't. I'm interested to see how it will work with my other pastels, because I do love using my pan pastels, and that's the reason I was getting the fixative, actually. So this was the pan pastels, and this is the soft pastels. Oh, nothing at all going on there. And that is a lovely matte surface that I'm fairly convinced I would be able to work onto. Come on, focus for me, camera. Yeah, so I'm very happy with it for this soft pastels. So this is the pan pastels. Yeah, no movement at all. and no kind of little droplets. You know, it hasn't changed the colour of it, or there's no shine. It just doesn't seem to want to work on the oil pastels. So, well, I feel better then if at least I haven't wasted my money, because I do love my pan pastels. Charcoal, love my charcoal too. Oh, this doesn't feel so. Oh no, no, it's moving a little bit. To be fair though, the charcoal probably didn't get as many coats because I suddenly remembered I hadn't done the charcoal, so I think probably got one less coat. But that's hardly moving at all. Yeah, so yep, I'm really happy with it for the... Oh, that's a relief. I haven't wasted my money then. Let's try it on this wood. So this was the side without the fixative. So yes, moves quite a bit as you would expect. Yeah. Right, let's try it. Yeah, not moving. This, I'm not so convinced is going to work, but it might, because I'm... Yeah. No, you can feel it's still soft. And this is probably going to be pointless, but let's do it. Yeah, no, it made no difference at all. Well, in my totally unexpert opinion, I would say that this isn't really working at all, not for the Sennelier oil pastels. Now I wish I had some other oil pastels to try it with. But yeah, in my personal experience here, I would not. Because based on what I did there yesterday, I'd have said, well, that's rubbish. But actually now I've tried it on these other types of pastel and charcoal. It's brilliant. So yeah, brilliant, non-stinky, environmentally friendly. In fact, to be honest, I wish now I'd tried it on other pastels before I went and bought the extra bottle, because it might have been fine. Although, having said that, I think, you know, I have read that other people have found that same problem. So, what do you think? Have you used this? Have you used this SpectraFix? Have you used other fixatives on Sennelier oil pastels or other oil pastels? Any tips and opinions gratefully received. If I'm doing something stupid, I'm very happy for you to tell me, please. I just thought that might be handy, because I know a lot of my friends have got the scrawler box recently with the Sennelier oil pastels in, so they might be the same as me, thinking, oh god, I'm going to have to get a fixative now, because we're all really enjoying playing with the pastels. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone yet say they hate them, although they're messy. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you found that useful or interesting, and I will see you again really, really soon. Bye. Well, I had actually finished filming and was just putting everything away when I noticed an extra problem. Oh, that's going to be easier if where this is now dried, it sort of just went like that, and as I went like that, bits of this, it just kind of flaked off. The surface of it flaked off, taking some of the top coat of colour with it. I mean, luckily this isn't a piece of work that I'm particularly feeling precious about, but it would be really annoying if it was. So either I'm doing something really badly wrong with this stuff, or it's just not, although it says it's okay for oil pastels, it's not okay with these oil pastels. I definitely won't be using it on anything I do with the Sennelier ones again. Okay, but I just thought I'll come back in and I'll just slot that in. Yeah. Disappointing. Okay. I'm off. I'm really going now.